Ya Ali Madad, on behalf of the International Conciliation and Arbitration Board, I am very pleased to advise the Jamaat that we've been authorized to release the guidelines for ethical wealth transfer and inheritance planning. ICAB has, during its annual reviews globally, observed that a number of disputes center around the distribution of wealth. To prevent such disputes and to minimize conflicts within families, particularly at the time of one's death, ICAB has, at the direction of Mawlana Hazar Imam, and in conjunction with scholars from the Institute of Ismaili Studies, undertaken extensive research on Ismaili laws, traditions, and practices, as well as national laws, to develop a set of guidelines for ethical wealth transfer and inheritance planning. Inshallah, these guidelines will assist murids in deciding how to ethically transfer their wealth, including upon death, so as to preserve their wealth for future generations, respect the equality of men and women, respond to the needs of their dependents, particularly younger and more vulnerable members of their families, and thereby create a more resilient and stronger Jamaat. These guidelines are based on the ethical principles that reflect the values of our Tariqah, in particular those of natural justice and equity. The term natural justice and equity emphasizes the values of fairness, equity, empathy, kindness, generosities, and reinforces the responsibility for murids to provide equitably and adequately for their immediate members of their family and others who have a reasonable moral expectation to be cared for, particularly the weak and the vulnerable. The guidelines are intended to be used as an aid for reflection and dialogue within each family and with your professional advisors. As each family is governed by different circumstances and national laws, these guidelines are not prescriptive. They promote ethical principles with the flexibility for murids to create outcomes that are appropriate for their own situations. It is incumbent upon each murid to undertake proper inheritance planning. The failure to prepare a will or to prepare one without thoughtful planning can give rise to stress and disharmony within families at the difficult time of bereavement. Sound communication and prudent planning, using professional advisors as appropriate, are important to foster good relationships and to fulfill our ethical obligations. The guidelines also address planning for ethical wealth transfers during one's lifetime. In keeping with our ethics, once we've provided for ours and our families and our loved ones' present and future needs, there is an opportunity to share any excess wisely. In this way, even during our lifetime, we can offer support to others, such as younger members of our family and our moral dependents, to improve their quality of life. This generous support offered at the right time, for example, to fund an education or secure stable housing, could be an immense contribution to enable our beneficiaries to thrive in a complex and challenging world. These guidelines will be available through the Conciliation and Arbitration Board and on the CAB website on the Ismaili website. The local CABs can also assist you if you require further information and support. In each jurisdiction, we have volunteers trained to be able to explain these guidelines to you should you desire such support. From wherever you are viewing us, thank you very much, and we wish you a happy, safe, and immense barakat in your lives. Thank you, and Ya Ali Madad.